Women are not an homogeneous group.
We face discrimination differently depending on factors such as ethnicity, age, socioeconomic status, and more.
Rainier Avenue Radio is proud to amplify women's voices.
They are the experts of their own lives, initiating conversations within their community about challenges they face, the solutions they're working on, and the opportunities they see.
Please join us this Sunday from 2 to 5 for Women's Voices on Air. We know our challenges. We are the experts of our lives.
We are master multitaskers, prioritizing our family, friends, and our faith above our own needs.
Our needs and voices are too often overlooked.
Please join us this Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. for Women's Voices on Air.
We tell our stories in our own way.
Sediment cleanup of the lower Duwamish River has begun. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency and the members of the Lower Duwamish Waterway Group, which includes King County, the City of Seattle, and Boeing, have begun sediment cleanup of the Lower Duwamish Waterfall Superfund site. This important environmental project will address sediment pollution and help restore the health of the Duwamish River. Starting on the waterway's upper reach, construction activities extend from the South 102nd Street Bridge down straight to the Duwamish Waterway Park. Over the next 3 years, in-water activities will occur from October to February, ending in February 2027. Visit ldwg.org to learn about the upper reach cleanup and sign up for email updates.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Rainier Avenue Radio .world, the station that cares about our community.
Yeah.
Hey y'all, this is Dr. Traci Harrell. I have no idea what is even visible right now. I'm live from Jamaica, and I have a laptop in front of me that just died. But I do have a great show. I have recordings that were done with people that survived the hurricane who had a very similar story. Like, they all were saying the same thing. We are live from Jamaica. We're in Montego Bay. As I mentioned last week, we survived the storm. I was over here packing. You can see stuff on the ground. They're doing a relief effort for the employees and their families. And so I'm going to my luggage like, you can have all of this. I may need a few items, but you can have all of this. And that's what I was doing. And I'm doing it a little frantically because my flight has been canceled 4 times. I was due to leave on Thursday. It just got canceled again, literally 15 minutes ago. And I'm on a flight leaving tomorrow, which means at 7 a.m. tomorrow, I'll be on a bus from the Hyatt going to the airport. So it's all happening last minute. It's all good. I'm like, let me get this stuff downstairs. And so I'm here with my laptop, which for whatever reason does not want to turn on. I have a really good 35%, so it's really weird that it's not coming up. But I will keep talking because you know me. I always got something to say. Okay. Better Together and Living Powerfully. So I am the last of the 11 of us that came here from Seattle. My flight has been rescheduled several times, as was everyone's. I mean, I'm not the only one, but I'm the last of our group to leave. And I honestly have been so blessed by this experience. You know, we talked about the storms of life, and last week we talked about how important it is to not only, survive, but to thrive, to choose to think differently, to decide how you're going to show up, and then to assume the best. Oh, my computer just came on. I love it when that happens. But to assume the best. Okay. So, yeah. So I was getting live from my phone at one point because I have some great video, but I think I'll just keep it simple, and I'll bring that up next week when I'm able to provide it to my wonderful producer, and then he can bring it on. We have videos of guests, the videos of the employees here. But what's really exciting is, when you think about going through a difficult situation, something that could be stressful, I wasn't concerned. I really wasn't. I've been through a number of hurricanes. It was a Category 5. I was assuming the best and, showing up, a smile on my face, assuming the best. But lives were lost, right? I mean, we've been in a bit of a bubble here at the Hyatt, at the 5-star Hyatt. Water just came back on, which is exciting. We get to take a full shower. We've been taking showers with bottles of water. And even as that was happening, I was actually thinking to myself, I mean, people came together in this community. People, meaning those of us who are visiting, as well as the natives, the locals. They've been talking about not only gratitude for life. So when they talk about, yes, my roof was blown off, but no one died. And they literally mean it. They don't say it like, oh, no one died. They're like, we will rebuild. Like, resilience is a no-brainer. That's just what we do, right? And I think for me, it allowed me to not only, remember that there's so many people that don't. We have more than enough, right? We have a surplus. So when I think about being, in this space, I'm grateful. I'm leading with gratitude. And I think most people here were. You'll see in the videos that we captured, I just doing some random people. I've been videotaping stuff on my Facebook for, since it happened, right? Since it started, since we heard the hurricane was coming, it was like, Since some of us were like, we're out of here. Sabrina, I know her husband was like, nah, baby, this is Cat 5. You need to come home. And again, airports are closed. It's not an option. In Florida, when a hurricane would come, we always have the option to drive up north, right? When you're on an island and the airport's closed, you're trapped. Like, there's no place to go. There's nothing you can do. And I think that in itself is, was the biggest difference for me. It was like, you don't actually get to go. You're here. Congratulations. And you literally have to ride out the storm, right? As is life, right? So I think when we reflected on last week, and it was at the very end when I busted out my notes, but we talked about this power of unity, how powerful it is when community comes together. And that's obviously thematic to the work that I do. It's called Better Together and Living Powerfully. And so, thinking about this collective energy can shift communities from fear to faith. Like, I watched it happen. I watched someone who would say something negative, and I'm around a bunch of faithful women and even people that I didn't know. You can allow the negative to take hold and build, or you can be the one that decides, yeah, no, that's not how we roll. Like, I choose not to show up in that way. I choose not to even allow that to be how, around me. So you could speak your truth, which would be the opposite of fear, and bring faith or bring some form of, positivity into the space. And I think that's what I choose to do, but that's what you can do as well, right? No matter what is happening, you get to decide what success looks like for you. Let me just say that again. You get to decide what success looks like for you. I love that. I do have fans. As you can see, I got 2 in the room. That was probably the last thing that we needed here was most people have checked out of the hotel. So they were around and people were being very nice and sharing. But I sleep into purpose. So if I think about myself as an individual who, I don't have a lot of financial resources, I've allowed myself to give to donate my services, which I'm shifting, shifting from a lot of donations. This is me donating my time because I do believe I'm in purpose when I do the show. So the being purpose and motion got to show up. Like when life gets messy, you get to pause. Like you get to decide, what am I going to do in this moment? How am I going to show up? Hopefully to help others, and at least to represent yourself well, right? If a problem happens, when problems show up, not if. When problems show up, if you decide, I'm just going to, squash those around me, and I'm gonna, be like the what do you call it, the green giant, jolly green giant, maybe not the jolly green giant, but whatever giant huffs and puffs and blows your house down. Maybe that's a whoop, who knows? Did I mention I'm exhausted? I'm a little tired today. I do have to admit, but I have a whole thing planned, and I recorded videos for 3 days, so I have captured a lot of voices, and hearing people's stories and watching them choke back their tears. It's also physically impactful. I'd be lying if I said it wasn't. So what I've been able to do is put my energy into motion, my purpose into motion in a different way. So again, they're collecting money for the Hyatt employees. And I think I shared that previously. If not, I will share it again in the future. But we're going to be doing something that allows us to also collect things. I have lots of things, and they were asking us to give clothes and anything you brought with you and money. And I'm like, I didn't bring a whole lot, but I got a whole bunch of stuff back at home. So this is Traci, my purpose in motion, my legacy in action. I called the GM of the Hyatt that's near us, the one that's in Seattle, or really Lake Washington. So I guess that's Renton. So I called his GM because we've done some stuff through the National Black MBA at that location. I love that location. And I talked to him about doing my work, the Living Powerfully experience, work with his team. And so I had his number, and so I called him and was like, "Hey, we're here I'm at your Hyatt in Montego Bay at the Hyatt Zilara, and we've seen leadership in action. Like this guy, unfortunately, I'm not gonna probably get to talk to him until later. I have a few videos of him, which I'm gonna hopefully get to cut. Like the Tim, meaning the GM, the general manager here, he was amazing in every way. Like he was highly communicative. He shared what was happening, but he also, told us we're trying to keep you safe. Yes, the doors are locked. We do not want you to go out and do your little TikTok videos on the beach because the wind is blowing. No, we're going to keep you safe. And so I love that he was honest and clear, and his intentions were very plain and simple the entire time. So what I decided to do is to connect with him as the GM of this property, connect with the GM of the Hyatt near us, the one in Lake Washington, my favorite beautiful location. And we're going to create a space for you to give from your surplus, because we all have extra stuff, right? I know we do. My size is in a 2XX, and I remember being on 1XX, and I have some clothes that I probably think I'm going to get back into at some point. Even if I am, somebody can use those clothes now. And so I have things, and I've gone through my storage extensively, but now this is easy. Everything I have. And I separated my storage units into 2. Like it was like, these are the things I definitely want. Just gotta sort through a little bit more. And these are the things that, I can figure out how to give, to others or sell. was my idea. I just want to give them to the people here because it's good stuff. It's stuff I didn't want to get rid of. It's stuff that I knew I could use later in my home, and now they can use it immediately in theirs. So my plan is to coordinate over the next 4 months this relief efforts. And what the GM at the Hyatt in Lake Washington shared is that if we get stuff to them, you will get it to here. And what the GM here, Adrian, the GM in Lake Washington, his name is Scott Lane. So rah to Hyatt. The GM here, his name is Adrian Whitehands. And that man, when I say he talk about leadership, we were going to do a session today, but he's with his people. It's now they're in cleanup mode. And they're also, connecting and, supporting family. He said he wanted to know what each family needed so he could be a part of getting them back on their feet. Isn't that beautiful? So I said, here's what I can do. I can tell you for facts. We got extra stuff, and everything I got, it's extra. I am more than happy to give gifts to your people and to coordinate. Each of you now have an opportunity to give as well, whether it's dollars or things. We have an opportunity to give. That's living our legacy now. That's supporting people now. That's the power of unity, right? Clarity, all the things, right? So this, concept of driving through the storms of life, or living our legacy now, we get to put it into practice. We're not just talking about it, we're doing it. And again, I'm part of a group with Sabrina Jackson Yandy. She calls it the Holistic Success. And we came in for an empowerment retreat. And we all showed up. When I say you can travel with women and you get to really know them, right? And we all got closer. We all loved each other up. So when you're working with people who want to show you, not that we all were perfect, we were not. But I also had the mirror of women who could see me, right, and see themselves. And so we saw each other, and we were on a journey of transformation, of empowerment. It's pretty powerful. So we came in for empowerment, and God gave us twice what we helped for. Right? A little practice time, man. A little practice. One of the things that Sabrina talks about, she calls it Juicy Women, right? This is Juicy Woman University. But this is holistic success. So it's really about this spiritual poise. Yeah, I say that and I can't do anything but like spiritual poise. That means, you're showing up in elegance, right? You're not, right? You're not that person. You're showing up in a way when you could complain, but you choose not to. You choose to bring joy. You choose to be in a position where you can, again, do the number one thing when you might feel some energy that might be less than poised, right? It's to pause and breathe. We've said that before, but I'm going to say it again. Pause and breathe. That's how do you thrive through the storms of life? It's in those moments when you get to make a decision, how am I going to show up in this moment? The fight or flight could be happening, for example, there's no water. And maybe there's 3 water bottles and someone just picked up 2 and you got 2 people in your room and you're like, literally life or death, right? Because people are, out of water. People don't have water. They don't have fresh water to drink. And so, every legacy, it begins with stillness. It begins with that pause. When the world shakes, it's like you get to pause and anchor yourself in the breath, in your breath, in your breathing. It's an exercise, but it actually becomes your anchor. And when you breathe, you can say words and say these mantras, things like, I am centered. I am calm. Even if you're not, we talked about this before, right? We talked about affirmations and things that you call into existence. I call myself Fit Traci. Fit Traci loves vegetables. I really do. Like, I say that and I mean it. Now I can actually mean it. But if you're not calm and you're not centered, you can say those words to call it in. And when you breathe, right, there's a scientific element to that too. So things are happening around you. The world is swirling literally around you. And you get to pause and breathe and say, I'm centered, I'm calm, I'm covered. And covered is a whole extra level of conversation. When you believe in it, a lot of people that I interviewed had something prayerful to say. They were like, no, I wasn't scared. Maybe a little bit. A little bit. Maybe when, when water started pouring into my balcony, maybe I yelled. But I wasn't. I really wasn't. I could have been probably, I could have been a little bit more careful. I had people texting me saying, get your butt away from that window, girl. We're praying for you, but we don't make it difficult for us. And I thought that was kind of funny. It tells you how sometimes oblivious I am. I'm like, look, it's the storm outside. I wasn't thinking something's going to come here and break through the window and, harm me. Could have, but I wasn't thinking. I chose to believe that I was there for a reason and that I was covered. I always believe that I'm covered, that there's grace. That, the language that I think is really important is to say, to remember. Grace, what did my little partner say when I said this to her? She said, favor, not grace. Favor is not fair. To say that again, because I believe in grace and I believe in miracles. I believe in divine intervention. I do. And I believe I experience that almost daily. Like I'm definitely covered. I'm surrendered. And when you walk in a surrendered life, things happen that just are like, whoa, did that really just happen? Like how exciting that these things lined up in a way that I could not have lined them up myself, but they lined up for my good, and favor ain't fair. Right? So I guess there's a mindset that comes with that. Assume that good things are going to happen, and that's what you see. That's what you're looking for. The opposite can be true too. Like when bad things, storm is swirling around you. Oh, woe is me. You could say some things and think some things, and that's what you're going to see. It's almost you're kind of co-creating it for yourself. No, you didn't bring the storm in your life, but how you show up during the storm is equally as important as the storm itself. Does that make sense? How you show up, what you say to yourself, what you say to others, it matters. And this is me feeling tired, but realizing I got to show up because this is my commitment to community and my commitment to myself and my commitment to my higher power. Yeah. So again, being very, very clear on how to thrive through the storms of life. Number one, in the moment, pause and breathe. Just remember, and you can speak mantras, speak the legacy that you want to create. Speak that into existence through the words that you say. I am calm. I am centered. I am covered. I am whatever. Right? Fit. I am. I deserve abundance. That's one of the ones I had to say to myself. Remind myself of that financially. Okay. I'm going back to what was. Okay. So again, if we're talking, the recap from last week was the power of unity, the purpose of purpose in motion, and then living your legacy now. And then we talked about thriving during the storms of life, and I was giving you the steps. Right? So number one is pause and breathe. And number two is choose gratitude. Right? So we didn't have running water for days. We just got to take a shower today. We're taking showers with bottles of water, which again, that's a blessing in itself. It's me holding a bottle of water, squeezing it out. Yeah. But choose gratitude daily. Like if part of your daily practice is built on gratitude, then you can't live powerfully if you're not living gratefully. Does that make sense? We talk about living powerfully, but you got to start with gratitude. Whatever you have, be grateful for what you have, and believe that you can and will succeed. You can and will thrive in the space that you're in. Believe it and you can achieve it, right? Like I know it sounds corny, but it's so true. So one of the reflections you can say is, in the middle of the storm, what can I give thanks for right now? even in the middle of the storm. I was grateful to be here at the high end. I was grateful to be around people that, were positive. I was grateful that, we had, lights, even though we didn't have AC. I was grateful that we had, for all the things we had, I was very grateful for them. And there's an energy that shows up differently when you're grateful. So that's the one thing you have to ask yourself daily is choose gratitude daily, and then ask yourself, what can I give thanks for here, even now, even in the midst of what looks like what clearly was a Category 5 hurricane, right? And this is the living powerfully truth. It says gratitude, it doesn't ignore the pain. Gratitude does not ignore the problem. It transforms it. And I hope you let that sit in. Isn't that good? Gratitude does not ignore the problem. It does not ignore the pain. It transforms it. It's basically when people talk about reframing, it's a reframe. Like your gratitude is your way of saying, I'm grateful for these things. You show up it's like Sabrina uses language. She talks about high level energy, right? Low level energy are those things like fear and the negative things that take you down. And you get to choose a different energy. You get to choose a different language. You get to choose gratitude. And again, it does not ignore the pain, feel the feelings. What it does is it helps you to transform it. And that's what we want. That's what we want to do. So talk about reframing the rain, right? Every downpour carries renewal. Right? Rain cleanses. Rain nourishes. It makes things grow. So yeah, it was torrential. It also floods. You're right. We don't focus on that. But even though people are flooded, even though mudslides, oh my God, you have to see some of the video here. So you can say this as a reframe. Sorry. You think about reframing the rain, the storms of life. So rain didn't drown my dreams. It watered my next season. So that rain may come, that storm may come, that situation may come, which takes you off the path that you thought you were going to go down. If you believe that rain, that storm, that situation is for you, we talk about this with positive psychology. Talk about it with PQ, right? This positive quotients. You get to reframe everything. So that situation happened for you. And then you ask the question, right? Back to those superpowers we talked about with PQ. You ask yourself the question, it didn't drown your dreams. This rain, this flood, this flow. It may have redirected you. Now you're just on a different path, right? It watered my next season. Hello, somebody. I know you're feeling me. If you're with me, say amen. Okay. We'll keep going. I want to get through this because it's really important. Last time I was talking and it was in the middle of the storm, and I don't think I gave these very clear steps. But you get to reframe the rain. So number one was pause and breathe in the moment. That's how you get you manage yourself better, right? Choose gratitude daily and in the moment. What can you be grateful for? You reframe the rain, you reframe the situation. And again, we already said that gratitude doesn't say that nothing bad is happening. No. We're not saying that at all. Gratitude doesn't ignore the pain. It doesn't ignore the problem. What we do is we focus on solutions, right? Gratitude transforms the problem into a solution, into an opportunity. If every situation can be turned into a gift and an opportunity, that's what we call the PQ, right? That's the sage mentality. We talk about that the whole year, for years. And now you got a real life situation where it's like, okay, how do you show up? You show up with grace. You show up excellent. I'm so proud of how we showed up with each other and with strangers, and how I'm showing up right now with this energy around how do we support other people. Like, I'm grateful for all the stuff I have, but I'm definitely going to be gifting it to people who need it more. They're coming up on Christmas, they're coming up on New Year's, and they're going to close this hotel as soon as all of our butts are out. They're going to close this hotel down. They're already starting cleanup, and then they're going to reopen on January 31st. I hope to be back. Okay, sorry. Whew, excuse me. I'm gonna keep moving. Okay. So number 1 was pause and breathe. Number 2 was choose gratitude daily. Number 3 was reframe the brain. Number 4 is connect and contribute. So what I'm saying here is the storms will come. Storms of life, this is the literal storm, but I'm talking about the storms of life will come. And legacy is never built alone. So you're going to connect and contribute. You want to connect with other people that might be going through a similar thing that you know can uplift you and others around you. Does that make sense? So legacy isn't built alone. It's in every act of compassion, every phone call. How you doing, girl? Right? You know someone has had a situation. It's in every shared meal. It's in every shared dollar. It's in every shared garment. So like I said, I'm so excited to get home and get some stuff here. So excited. From a living powerfully lens, this 4th element of connecting and contributing, we're not waiting for legacy. We're living it through love. We're living it out. I like to talk about living your legacy now. And I like to celebrate people who are living their legacy now. How you live your legacy is through this lens of gratitude, this lens of love. You show up through these storms of life, and you do it in such a way that you are contributing to others, connecting and contributing to others. Beautiful, right? So number 5, serve through the storm. Now I'm choosing to serve in my own way. Again, I know we can help get more things to people who've lost everything. So that's going to be my gift. Like I said, I've already spoken to 2 gyms, the Hyatt there, the Hyatt there. There's also a Hyatt in. Oh, shit, there's a break I need to take. Thank you. Like, what are you? Thanks, we'll be back, y'all.
Rainier Avenue Radio. Rainier Avenue Radio.
Are you in need of new or gently used clothing? Hope's Community Closet is here to help. We offer a wide range of clothing for men, women, youth, children, and infants. Join us on the 4th Saturday of each month from 12:30 to 4 at the Silent Task Force. We're giving clothing with care, community with heart. Lovely Ladies Lemonade for sale, and shop to the sound of old school soul. Any questions? Contact Alicia Kennedy, Executive Director of Women United at 206-316-7601. 206-316-7601. Come and find the perfect outfit for you and your family. We look forward to seeing you there.
Hello, listener. What's important to you about what's going on in your community? Are you interested? Are you concerned? In any case, I invite you to tune into my show, Seattle Here and Now, on Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Why? I will be covering a wide range of topics important to you and impacting the community. Each show will have a special guest or guests to share with you information on a variety of subjects that are happening here and now in Seattle. I promise I will work hard to make my show informative, interesting, and entertaining. Be sure to listen to Seattle Here and Now on Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
Get ready. TNT Supermarket, your Asian food destination, is opening Thursday, November 13th at the Linwood Crossroads Shopping Center. Doors open at 9 a.m. Arrive early. The first 300 customers will receive a free $10 TNT gift card, plus more exciting opening offers. From now until November 12th, TNT U.S. members can enter via the TNT app for a chance to win 2 round-trip tickets to Asia with China Airlines. Visit the TNT U.S. website for details. TNT Supermarket opens November 13th, 9 a.m. at the Linwood Crossroads Shopping Center. See you there.
This is Big Poppy, host of Jazz from the Cabinets. Join me each week for a listening tour of the first century of jazz, an eclectic mix of Dixieland, big band, cool jazz, bebop, contemporary jazz, world jazz, all jazz in all forms. That's Jazz from the Cabinets with Big Poppy on Rainier Avenue Radio, streaming worldwide on RainierAvenueRadio.world.
The climate crisis is here, and communities most impacted are standing up. This is Earth Deserves More Than a Day, hosted by Rainier Avenue Radio and King County Parks. From elected officials, grassroots leaders, from river tours to cultural art, we gather to take action. Listen in. Learn more, then get involved, because the Earth can't wait, and neither can we.
You are listening to Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Don't forget to log on www.RainierAvenueRadio.world.
Thank you so much to my producer. Thanks to everyone who's just been listening in. Thanks to everyone who watched, stay connected with me on Facebook. I don't think this show is actually broadcasting on Facebook now. I think our destinations aren't connected, but thank you to everyone who stayed connected and who have been a part of this journey with us. I am grateful for everything that has transpired. And again, I'm so excited to be able to package this information in such a cool way. And you get to benefit as well from the storms of life. We're live from Jamaica, live from Category 5 Hurricane Melissa, still at the Hyatt and feeling amazing about the people that I've met here, the resilient people that I've met here. Really the people that aren't just the ones, not the ones going home. They can talk about their experience, but we all know how blessed we were. We all know how covered we were. We're talking about the people who lived here. And so to hear their voices in the middle of, like, we just had a few inconveniences compared to the roof is up. Because one lady showed me, young lady, one of the entertainers, she showed me a picture from, I guess, TikTok. And it was a drone picture. And unfortunately, her dad's house was, her dad's house was literally buried under, I don't know how much mud and water from the river. So I guess this rain came, this downpour, the river overflowed, and it looks bad. She said she thinks someone has heard from him, seen him, but of course they don't know, them have a connection there. So she's still here. And all I can say is our hearts went out to the people who are literally living a life that has been turned upside down, where their homes have been wiped away, their roofs have been washed up, everything they own has been blown away. They talked about people. I mean, I'm walking down the hall and I'm asking people, well, how's your home? Like, what have you? And the stories are not positive. Many of them are not positive, I'll say. And so they're not talking about themselves either. They're such a humble people, right? No one's talking about themselves. They're talking about their community. Yeah, my roof is up, but my neighbor is such and such. You know what I mean? Like it's just the humble nature is just so powerful and so beautiful. So what I decided I was going to do last week was talk about how do you survive the storms of life, since we clearly just survived the storm. But how do you do it with excellence? How do you thrive during the storms of life? Not how do you just survive. How do you thrive? And so what I was giving you today was a whole list of steps that you can take, right? We could talk about, I think last week we talked about the eye of the storm, right? We talked about finding peace in the center of the storm, right? Your peace is your power. So finding your peace. Sorry, I saw this thing, my tripod moving a little bit. But in the middle of every storm, there's the opportunity for alignment. There's this opportunity. And true leadership doesn't come from avoiding the storms. It's forged within them. I just want to clarify that. You can't avoid the storms of life. And you could try, and where's the fun in that? Joking. I'm joking. I don't mean to joke to people who really have lost their lives. But I mean, things are going to happen. Stuff's going to go down, and it ain't going to always be pretty. And, when everything is out of control, what you get to focus on is what's internal. It's your thoughts, it's your beliefs, it's your breath, it's your faith. Right? So you get to go within when all the things are swirling around you. That's one of the big lessons, right? Finding peace in the eye of the storm. So it's that Jedi superpower. Things are going on around you. You're like, not me. I had I'm going to finish the steps that I was talking about, and then I'm going to come back to what I was going to come back. So we talked about the how to thrive through the storms of life. And step 1 was pause and breathe. I've gone through that. Step 2 was choose gratitude daily. Step 3 was reframe the rain, right? You get to decide, is this rain drowning my dreams or is it watering my next season? Hello. Connect and contribute. My favorite recap regarding the gratitude piece is that, gratitude does not ignore the pain. It does not ignore the problem. Gratitude transforms it, right? It transforms it. You get to do, you get to transform. You get to decide what success looks like, and you get to create the success that you desire with the words that come out of your mouth, with how you show up. Okay. So we're reframing the rain, and then we said connect and contribute. And before the break, thank you, David. I'm on my phone, so I can't see any of your comments. My apologies. I can't see any of the comments, so you have to bring on the music again. Something if I don't see you. And then serve. Number 5 is serve through the storm. That's actually what I love to do. It's our legacy expands when we give. That's why, we're leading this Rebuild the Love initiative, right? Rebuild with Love initiative. So we're rebuilding the one love that is all about Africa, the service with love. We're going to rebuild with love. So Hyatt families, they already have a code. It's not just Hyatt families, because they're all from all these various communities around the country. We're also going to add in this clothing donation. These is household goods, these basic items for the families need who have lost everything. And Hyatt agreed to help us figure out how to make this happen. The good news is I spoke to not only the GM here, Adrian Whitehand, who's amazing. Literally, he has shown up. It's such an extraordinary way. I can't even tell you. But we also spoke to the Hyatt manager, the GM. I forgot his name. I said it. Scott Lane at the Lake Washington Hyatt. So he's agreed. He's like, we did this for there's a precedent. We did this for Hawaii when they had that horrible elements that happened there, the volcano and all of that fires. They've done it. So we're going, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to serve through the story. So if you think about our legacy expands when we give, when we truly give. So you think about rebuilding, we're going to be doing this work. We're going to be showing up. We're going to be the positive. We're going to create a space to hear, listen, love, and learn, right? We lift others up, and we become living proof of our purpose as we lift others, right? I love that. And then the couple more steps. Options, things you can do. They're not like you have to do them in order, because you'll be repeating them, right? You can think about the beginning, this idea of pausing and breathing. You may be pausing and breathing throughout every step, reframing whatever is happening, right? So they're connected. Serving through the storm, that's what I'm doing. But you can also help others as something is happening. Find someone that you can support in that storm of your life, right? Someone else you can share, also share. So it's number 6 is speak life and build legacy that way. That's what I do every day here, every week here, right? I speak life. Words are bricks in the foundation of your legacy. Speak what you want to see. Speak it into existence. Our words are powerful. Life and death, reside in the tongue, as they say. So you think about this affirmation. I'm not defined by the storm. I am refined by it. So know that this thing happened. It doesn't define me. The ladies who got stuck in Jamaica during the Cat 5 hurricane. No, we're refined because of it. We got to exercise these things that we say, and we got to be who we say. We all showed up and we're so proud of ourselves. I know people who say things and then they don't do what they say they're supposed to do in the moment, and when you try to call them out, they're like, well, I have to do it in the moment. Okay, well, that's kind of the only time that it matters. Anything else is just talk, right? And so for me, just being in a position where we can show up, and nobody's perfect. God knows, we're all trying to do the best we can. So we just gotta meet people where they are and then speak life, build legacy. So if you can speak life into someone else or into a situation, it's so powerful. So I just said, I'm not defined by the storm. We've been refined by the storm. We're survivors for sure, but we're thrivers. We're extraordinary. We came here for empowerment, and we are certainly empowered, even more than we imagined. I got so much visibility and clarity about even myself. It's been amazing. So this concept of living our legacy with gratitude, we want you to share your moments, right? Continue to rebuild the life that you want to have. This is literally live from Jamaica in the middle of the storm, because you too can thrive during the storms of life. This is the house. So as I summarize, legacy isn't what we leave behind, right? Legacy is what we live right now. So if you want people to talk about you in such a way that this person, you were a giver, then be a giver, then you gotta give, right? You were someone who cared about others. You gotta show up and care. You can't talk about it. You have to be about it, and you can't be inconsistent. So you have all these inconsistencies. Like, I don't know why this person is talking to me, because you probably did something crazy and you didn't know it, right? I mean, it's amazing how people say things and they don't see how they actually show up, and they don't have a community around them that will tell them the truth. That's why a lot of people get coaches, because coaches we're obligated to tell you the truth, right? I'm obligated to tell you the truth. I'm not the kind of coach who's going to just tell you what you want to hear when my goal is to help you, right? I can't do it. Sorry. And I know, and I'm smart, so I know what to do to help you. This is how we can help ourselves. So you want to pause and ask yourself, every time you forgive, every time you serve, every time you smile, every time life tries to break you, that's legacy. When you show up with peace and joy, with poise, spiritual poise, right? That's legacy. That's legacy. So you want to ask yourself, who inspired you this week? I've been inspired by all of these people here, the actual workers here, the leaders here, but the frontline people who have homes that have been destroyed, yet they're still here, smiling with service. Come on now. What moment reminded you that your life matters, that you are worthy, that you are, abundant, you deserve abundance? You want to ask yourself these types of questions on the regular. And again, my leg is a little stiff, so I'm shifting. Okay. So we do have a community call to action. Yes. So we're asking for financial support to the country of Jamaica. We know for a fact that Haiti has a whole fund, and we'll post that here, make sure it's available. But we're also going to be creating a space for you to drop off, clothing and linens and things. We're still figuring that part out, but it's coming, because I'm starting it. And I was like, I'm doing it. And they're like, yeah, we love it. So that's it. And over Christmas, we're going to be having you remember these people and their families and the kids who have nothing. School, like, stuff has just been destroyed. So if you think about, we're not building walls, we're rebuilding hope. We're not, we're giving and we're living the legacy that we hope to leave for our sisters and brothers right here in Jamaica. There really is a one love energy. I know my family have Jamaican roots somehow. My sister, who's my half sister, but she's my sister, the same mother. I'm the only one with a different father, but she did her DNA, and I believe she had Jamaican roots somehow. And so I made two. I don't know. I haven't done my own. I don't know if that's on her father's side. I don't know. So we shall see. But what I can tell you is, as we continue this conversation, we talked last week about the eye of the storm, finding peace in the center of the storm. And some people were like, I got some text messages, which I didn't see, honestly, until yesterday. So if you texted me last week, I just got them. And you can imagine I'm in Jamaica with limited access. But I did want to specifically answer the question. In the middle of every storm, there's an opportunity for alignment. There's an opportunity, right? I mentioned this part before. I said leadership doesn't come from avoiding storms. It is forged within them. True leadership is forged within the storms, right? When everything is out of control, everything external is out of control, that's when you go internal. And that's really the work, right? The work is, how are you showing up based on what's inside of you, right? So we're asking you to write down 3 words that describe how you feel no matter what's happening around you, how you want to feel, right? my 3 words are, I want to feel grounded. I'm always grateful, but I want to maintain a high level of gratitude. And I also want to know that I'm being guided. One of my prayers is that I will be, I'm like, direct me and correct me. Don't let me go off and do some stuff that you don't want me to do. Don't let me work with people that you don't want me to work with. When it's time to be over with that work, help me go ahead and do something else. Like lead me and guide me. So I want to be guided. So grounded, grateful, and guided. What are your 3 words? And when we say the words that describe how you want to feel, no matter what's happening around you. So this is the, how do you want to thrive? How do you want to show up in the middle of your life stories, right? For me, grounded, grateful, and guided. Knowing that I'm doing the work that my maker called me to do. You also want to move from surviving to soaring, right? There's this power in your perspective. Similarly, I just said how you get to reframe the rain, right? Is that really drowning my dreams, or is it watering my next season? So this concept of mental reframing is where, it's where this concept of cognitive intelligence, which we've talked about most of the year, meets legacy living, like actually living your legacy. So you want to ask yourself, what is the gift and what is the opportunity here? So you're not surviving. Oh, I have an opportunity too. That's when you start to explore the possibilities. What could this be? Inquire. You want to ask some questions, right? But you want to choose. And in these moments, I like to say that your decisions determine your destiny, right? So you do get to choose. All this power of the pause, when I talk about, pause and breathe, you get to choose your decisions do determine your destiny. So you get to choose. I know I'm telling the truth. So say it. So sometimes I gotta encourage myself. I guess your comments today. But I also want to talk about this idea of gratitude as a growth strategy. I've already said something that you can do is one of the steps. You want to identify, what can I be grateful for in this moment, despite the things that I don't have. What can I be grateful for? And that should be a daily practice and throughout the day. Whenever you think you're going down a rabbit hole or some negative energy, pause and say, what, let it be a strategy that you leverage, right? We talked about being thankful in the storm. Now we elevate this into a practice of expansion, not just being thankful, but looking for the next step, right? Gratitude is not a passive act. It's a mindset that actually magnetizes miracles. Let me say that again. Gratitude isn't a passive thing. You're not just sitting back, making up things that you're kind of grateful for, but you're saying, I'm truly grateful. Like, I am grateful for these people that are around me, right? I'm grateful, that I was here during this storm. Truly, the place I'd rather be. If I was meant to be someplace else, I would have been someplace else. So that means I'm here. That means I get to decide, what lesson was I supposed to learn here? What people was I supposed to support here? There's some things I can do to support people in ways that other people may not choose to. So for me, again, if gratitude isn't passive, it's that grateful mindset, it actually magnetizes miracles. So it's about that, having this magnetic energy. Sabrina talks about when you're juicy, right? There's a magnetic energy. And it's like when you are living powerfully, that same similar language, right? Your gratitude magnetizes miracles. It primes your mind for both creativity, opportunity, and peace, right? Let me say that again. Gratitude primes your mind. It's like you're putting on blinders that are for you, right? So you're saying, I don't want to see. I can't really put my hands up because I'm going to block a little bit of light in this room. But let me just say that part again. It primes your mind. Gratitude is a form of expansion. It primes your mind. It gets you ready for greater creativity, opportunity, and just peace. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And the brain literally rewires itself to see abundance instead of loss. It's like, it's like when you decide, oh, you bought a blue car and you start seeing blue cars. Same number of blue cars have been on the street, but you are now rewired because you're the one to see them differently, to see them more easily, right? So your brain is rewired because you got one and it's the prettiest thing you ever seen, and now you see blue cars, right? Does that make sense? So you get to rewire your brain, right, to see abundance instead of seeing loss. Even though you've lost a whole lot of things, I'm going to focus on the things that I'm grateful for. And what you focus on magnifies, amplifies. So like I said, if gratitude is a practice of expansion, then you focus on the things that you're grateful for, and those things will expand. Hear me now. You can do the same exercise, and this has been scientifically proven. You can think about and talk about the things that you don't have, and you'll get more of that. Sorry. I know it sounds so simple and so ridiculous, but it's so true. There's a couple of books I'm gonna talk about. And I talked about couple of these before. I talked about Eckhart Tolle, the Power of Now, and he reminds us to live in the present moment, not in the past pain. I talked about Atomic Habits by James Clear, and I said, it's those small daily gratitude rituals compound into a lifelong change, right? Whatever you do, you want to be grateful, and you want to do little things, the Atomic Habits, right? Great book, wonderful. There's also a book called The Gratitude Effect by Dr. John DeMartini. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. He teaches that gratitude unlocks resilience and purpose. And again, there are so many scientific research that proves all of these things. So I'm not just telling you what I heard, I'm telling you what I know, and I'm telling you what's scientifically proven. So just stay with me here. If you're trying to thrive in the storms of life, and we got some storms all over, right? You want to invite yourself to pause, and you want to name one thing that you lost in the storm, and then one thing that you found within yourself because of that loss. Sometimes we have to lose something in order to get to the next level, right? You have to let some things go to get to the next level. So you want to ask yourself, what did you find within yourself, right? I found some additional opportunities to continue to grow and to learn and to help others. Seriously, it's been an amazing adventure with our empowerment ladies, with Davina and the crew. It's been an amazing adventure. So I'll keep moving. Okay. We're also talking about legacy leadership. Oh my goodness, is it already time? Becoming the light. Oh, I didn't realize it was already that time. Well, I have more to share, but this is the end of the show. Is there any, I think I probably have some announcements somewhere that I can't see.